Ready? Man, it's Reek, Ball Hog Sports. Missing my dog Cool today, man. He got some business to take care of, business to handle. But we're gonna jump right into it though, man. With some more recent news in the NBA. Uh Al Horford just signed to the Warriors, or made a verbal agreement to sign with the Warriors before the ahead of this season. I like the move if this was 5 years ago. If this was 5 years ago, for the Warriors or for Al Horford, I would love it. But I kind of think that this deal is, a little too late, in my opinion. I feel like Al Horford is a great 3-point shooter, as a big, still a good player, still a good mid range shooter, but I don't know if he has enough athleticism to match what the Warriors need. I understand the Warriors will always want players who fit the system and fit the culture, but at the end of the day, man, you at some point when it comes to getting a big man and understand that you lack defensively, you got to go get some athleticism, especially to go defend other bigs that the league has. So I have no problem with the Warriors signing Al Horford. It's not a bad deal. I just feel like, go get a younger big that's more athletic, that, still fits the system more so than an older guy. But I can see the vet presence, won a championship recently. So I understand where Al Horford can definitely help, for sure. That's a very good question. The multiple years part really kind of makes me question where they're going with this. Only because I felt that if Al Horford signed a deal with anybody, it would only be a 1 year, 1 year contract. So I'm assuming that Al Horford is looking to play another 2 to 3 years, with the Warriors. So he's looking to help the Warriors compete for a couple of years. But I also don't like this for the Warriors because you're locking in money for an older guy that by the time he's in the second year of the contract, he may not even be playable on the floor. So, y'all let me know, man. However y'all want to judge this Warriors, what does it do? You know, play in. I'll lock him in for the play in. I think that this team can be good offensively, but when I look at them defensively, they don't move the needle. And you got to guard Luka, you got to guard LeBron, you got to guard Reeves, you got to guard the Rockets. You got to guard OKC. You know what I'm saying? KD, Sengun, Amin Thompson. You got to guard that. You know what I'm saying? And to me, Tari Eason. How do you guard that? And I don't see them. Jimmy ain't locking everybody up. So, you know what I'm saying? And they just went 7 with the Rockets last year without no KD. With KD, what are we doing? So, yeah, man, I don't think that this moves the needle that much for the Warriors. I think they're definitely still a good team. But moving the needle, I don't see it at all. But to go into this next deal or next player in this next team, this was, supposed to be a needle moving deal. Miles Turner signed, new contract with the Bucks. He went in to talk about, and it was media day today. He went in and talk about how, he basically wasn't getting that respect or that loyalty that he was supposed to get from Indiana. And on that point of things, I definitely understand him because for 10 years, Miles Turner has been in the NBA for 10 years. For about 10 years, he's been in trade contract or trade negotiations or trade rumors. So I understand how he would feel with the whole loyalty situation and feeling like Indiana really didn't have his back. And if anything, Indiana probably should have already had the sheet or the offer sheet ready for him before the season even ended. As soon as they hit the finals, they probably already should have been ready to pay him the 125 or the 130 that he wanted. So I can see where Miles Turner, is he worth it? In reality, I don't think Miles Turner is worth that. I don't. But I think that when you have been a staple on the team for 10 years and you went from getting kicked out of the first round with this staple to now making the finals, I think that you almost have to pay him. I think that it's an obligation for the organization. And two, you do that because you show the other players on the team, hey, bro, we're loyal to you. If you put it in with us, we're going to put it back into you. So when you don't do that, yeah, I kind of feel like a guy has the right to go do what he wants to do. And he wanted to go to Milwaukee, which happens to be a team that Indiana had to see a lot and kind of became a rival to. So, I know a lot of people in Indiana don't like that. They hate that deal. But when I look at the Milwaukee Bucks team, though, and I'm just gauging their team and their roster, I almost kind of hate their roster. They got a bunch of tall, kind of athletic wing guys, but all of those guys aren't really great at a lot, except for Giannis being great at almost everything, except for a 3-point shooter. So I don't really know when I look at the Bucks. Their starting point guard this year is probably going to be Cole Anthony. That's a big question mark. I like Cole. I just think that he hasn't been consistent enough as a starting point guard to say we're handing over the reins to him after Damian Lillard. But yeah, Milwaukee Bucks. I kind of feel like they are a play-in team. They don't finish. within the top six, in my opinion. I don't think Giannis can just will this team again into a top six seed. I don't think that'll happen. And two, this might be a hot take. I think Giannis definitely gets out of there within the next year or two. I think that he'll get tired of playing over there. He'll want to go to that big market or go to that team to go compete for a championship again. And I think Giannis gets out of there. So, that's all I got for the Bucks for their offseason. I think their offseason was decent because they got Miles Turner, but anything outside of that really wasn't that good. And they held on to Kuzma, so it was horrible. DeAndre Ayton, huh? Yeah, oh yeah, Lakers, man. DeAndre Ayton, media. First of all, let's talk about media day. Luca, slim media day, definitely slimmer than how he came into being traded to the Lakers. Looking at LeBron, he looked happy at media day. He was just chilling all summer. He was playing golf, vibing, getting some work in. So I like that. DeAndre Ayton said that. What was DeAndre Ayton's quote again? He said he was locked in. This was like the biggest time of his career, something like that. Biggest turning point of his career. And I agree. I think that, for a lot of players, when you put in the purple and gold, or when you play with LeBron, or a player that, as good as LeBron James is, or with Luka Doncic right now, this got to be your biggest point of your career. This has to be the time where the switch, the flip switches, and you got to, because if you don't, then you could be playing yourself out of the league if you can't do well with two guys who can set you up as well as Luka and LeBron can. But as a Lakers fan, man, I honestly feel like DeAndre Ayton is in for a big year. I feel like he doesn't have to do much but just be open, set screens, roll, hit mid range jumpers, hit open threes if he feel like spacing it out that much this year. But I feel like DeAndre Ayton could be very, very good with the Lakers. You got three guys that can set him up pretty nice with LeBron, AD. I mean LeBron, wow, LeBron, Luka, and Reeves. But yeah, so I think DeAndre Ayton has no excuses. He got to be good. What's up? I think I think you're right. I think Ayton loves basketball wherever he is. Meaning in Portland, I hate basketball. We're not. What are we doing here? In Phoenix, I loved it. We were competing for a championship early until the coach did what he did. In LA, I'm playing with Luca, same agent, same draft class, same age, played the video game together, playing with Braun. You know, I think that DeAndre Ayton he's a fair weather guy. If the weather's fair over here, he's cool. If it's not, he went out. So I think he's in LA. He's gonna be in LA. LA is gonna be a winning situation. I think DeAndre Ayton will, want to be a part of that and be bought in to win. I think that's just as simple as it is. I think he'll want to show other teams, other executives, and other people a part of the league that, hey, I'm still like that. I'm the number one pick. Even though I'm playing with the best guy from my draft class, I'm still the number one pick in the draft class. So, yeah, I think DeAndre Ayton is going to have a great year for the Lakers this year. And to continue talking about the Lakers, it's kind of a sad talking point for me, man. I don't know, but apparently, man, Austin Reeves, from what we seeing from media day, Austin Reeves, looks like he's going to command 40 M's or is going to ask for 40 M's. And unfortunately, man, if Austin Reeves is asking for $40 million, I feel like he has to go. I don't think Austin Reeves will ever be as valuable as he should be playing with Luca, because Luca, he's kind of like the poor man's Luca, and he's not good defensively. So with that, the Lakers could easily say, we got to let that $40 million walk so we can go get some immediate help with Luca and down the line in the future. So, I don't think that Reeves fit is worth 40 million to pay to play with Luca. I think that you got to let him walk or try to do a sign and trade and get something back for him, which I think he would do because the Lakers, he love the Lakers, so he'll do a sign and trade. But yeah, uh, in that opportunity, yeah, a lot of them, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I think Malik Monk can come back to the Lakers right now and do what Austin Reeves can. I don't think he'll be as good as a playmaker, but I think he can do scoring wise. Yes, I want Quentin Grimes. I want Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes, bro, please come to LA. I want Quentin Grimes in LA. I feel like he's the perfect offsetting two guard to Luca and two to LeBron's three. I think it's perfect. I think because he can shoot the ball off the ball. He doesn't need to. He does not need to be on the ball to score. I love that fit. Quentin Grimes, bro, and he's a topic today. So Quentin Grimes, please, bro, if you could Get your way to the Lakers, bro, please. But next, man, no, next we got Quentin Grimes. So yeah, man, Quentin Grimes. So Philly gave him an offer sheet or gave him a minimum offer, and I'm sure he didn't like the deal. Mind you, Quentin Grimes wanted 25 million going into the offseason, which realistically he wasn't going to get that. I don't think he's performed up to 25 million per year or worth yet. But that's what he wanted, and that's what he was looking for. And the 76ers made a contract offer. He didn't take it. So, what I'm assuming for Quentin Grimes is he's going to play this last year on his rookie deal, on his rookie contract for Philly. And he's going to, try to become a unrestricted free agent and just, sign wherever he wants. Or hopefully he can try to get a deal from Philly by midseason and get traded by them at a deadline or something like that. But I do want to talk about what Philly has done recently and talk about their team as a whole. The 76ers, the first, they went out and they signed Imani Bates. I love that pickup. I feel like, with them not having a true four, having guys that can play the four by committee, especially a guy like Imani who can score kind of at will, and a guy who can score with ease, and he who is a pure scorer playing the four and kind of underrated at that position on the team. I love Imani Bates as a pickup for that team. But man, I think that the 76ers, they're one of those teams that could be back in the lottery, picking in the lottery again, or they could be going to the conference finals and maybe to the finals. If they put it all together with Maxey, Grimes, Embiid, Jared McCain, VJ Edgecombe, the rookie, Kelly Oubre, Imani Bates, Janai Broom, new guy. If they can put it together with all of the talent that they have top to bottom, Philly could go to the conference finals or to the finals. But if all of this fails and it's another season like last year, they'll be picking in the lottery. So I don't really say I have high aspirations for Philly or high or have any goals or see anything specifically for them. But I do think that Philly could be one of those teams that there's no in between. Either they're picking in the lottery or they're going to the conference finals. So yeah, it's health. It's not even really just health. Sometimes it's really more so about just being locked in too, bro. Because Paul George played half the season healthy last year and just did not look that good. So maybe he just tapping into playoff form earlier. Yeah. Yeah. They got a lot, bro. Yeah, they got a lot. Yeah, it's health. And I agree. It's health. It's just health. That's a fact. It's just health. So 76ers, man, it's just about them getting healthy and seeing where they're gonna be and how serious they are when they're healthy. So yeah. Yeah, Joel Embiid is yeah, you're right. He's indeed not ready. Apparently, that's what we been reported from Daryl Morey in the 76ers front office. He's not ready to even start on court activity yet, which is insane. So yeah, man. Wishing just hope for the best for 76ers. Even though I mean honestly really don't care, but you know, hopefully they can be successful and hopefully that, with the young guys that they got, they can do something and make some type of push. Don't want to see them just be, completely sorry though. Next, man, a guy that we haven't heard too much about in this offseason, Trae Young. With the season coming up in the next month, Trae Young has yet to get an extension. And I think Trae Young has not gotten an extension yet because the Hawks have paid attention to their offseason or their last two offseasons and said, we've went and got Kristaps. We've got Luke Kennard. We've went and got Nikhil Alexander Walker. We already got Jalen Johnson, already got Dyson Daniels. We've added these guys to the team. And I think the Hawks are looking at Trae Young saying, now we want to see what are you going to do? Are you going to have your best season ever to help, catapult the Hawks or catapult this organization into the playoffs, or I mean, into the playoffs, into the conference finals, or maybe into the finals. So I think that, for Trae Young is not on a prove it type of guy. He's a superstar in the league, but I think Trae Young is on a prove it he's on borrowed time right now until he shows to the Hawks that he's a true leader and that he can truly help this team get to where they want to get to. Because right now for the Hawks, when you look at this Eastern Conference, sky's the limit. They're going to go do whatever they are capable of doing because there's no clear cut favorite in the East. So yeah, when I look at the Hawks, I see a team that young Versace. Keep forgetting about Versace, but they got Versace for sure. But yeah, man, when I look at the Hawks, when I look at Trae Young, I just see them telling Trae Young, you got to prove it. You got to prove to us that you're the guy. Prove to us that you're the leader. Have not been to playoffs in a minute or conference finals since 2021. So trying to get back there 5 years later, and they just want to see. Yeah. I wanted him in Orlando so bad. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I hate? Yeah, I hate the fact that now it's like it's a prove it year, and he's been proving it, but they didn't have the roster around him to help him get to the, bro. That's best PG in the league numbers, Loki. You know what I'm saying? Like the only reason he's not looked at and viewed as the best PG is because he's sharing the league with Shea, Steph, and Luca. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, shout out Trae Young. I think he's on a prove it or on bar time right now. I think he's on a prove it deal, but I think he will prove it, and I think he will lead this Atlanta Hawks team to the playoffs. And he gonna get his bag because if he don't get the bag from the Hawks, somebody gonna pay Trae Young or Orlando if they still trying to get something done over there. So yeah, man, I like Trae Young a lot. I think Trae Young will prove it, but if he doesn't quote unquote prove it to the Hawks, he definitely will prove it to another team, and another team will sign him probably to a max contract. But next, man, talked about the Warriors a little bit earlier. Talked about their new signing with Al Horford. Now we got Jonathan Kuminga. This is something that I wouldn't think that I would still be talking about in September. I thought, he would probably either be on a different team or this situation would have been worked out by now, but he refused to go to media day to day, meaning he doesn't want to be a part of this team, or in his mind, he's not a part of this team right now. So, Warriors fans, man, how do y'all feel about this? How do y'all gauge this? I think for Jonathan Kuminga now at this point, this late in the offseason, either pretty much his money is going to go be the same wherever he goes. It's just about the years in the contract and how many years he has. And I think at this point, man, for Jonathan Kuminga, I would have liked for him to go to the Suns or to another team. But if the Warriors are going to hold you hostage like that, take their money and just allow yourself to grow within their system while you're taking their money. And after you get done with that, you can leave and go somewhere else and be successful and grow. So for Jonathan Kuminga, I just look at it as, man, just go ahead and you don't have to take the money, but go ahead, take the money, man, get this over with and just get out of there. Eventually you can sign a 1-2 year deal, play it out and get out of there and do what you got to do, bro, and be successful in another organization or another uniform. Yep. Yep. They want him to kind of conserve himself for the rest of the team when it's like, bro, I'm nothing but 22. I got to get to it. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get paid, bro. So yeah, I was a lottery pick. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely, yeah, man. I think it's time for the Warriors to stop playing with Jonathan Kuminga, allow him to be who he's gonna be, who he can be in this league, and I think that's part of the reason the Warriors haven't taken that leap these last 2 years because they haven't allowed him to be who he is supposed to be for that team. So when the Warriors do that, I think they'll take that next step that they want to take. But next, man, we got the team that I think Jonathan Kuminga should have been on, which is the Phoenix Suns. Um, I don't really like the Phoenix Suns roster. They have 4 big men on one roster. They went and got 2 in the same offseason to pair with one that they already had on the roster. So, I don't really like that. I don't really like the fact that the starting backcourt is going to be Jalen Green and Devin Booker. I would rather one of those guys to be a smaller 3 and them, going to go get a pure 1 to go play with those two scoring guys. But I just I don't know. I just don't like seeing uh 2 shooting guards play the 1 and 2. I just feel like it's horrible. And if one of them isn't a clear cut 1 or have history playing the 1, it's not gonna be a pretty fit. So yeah, who's the one? You know what I'm saying? The only one that you just said was Jared Butler, and he isn't even a starter in the NBA. So who's your one? And I think that if we're going another year with D Book is the one, go ahead and trade him, bro. Get him out of there because that's wasting his time. He's not a 1. He's a 2 off the ball scorer. He's trying to get to it. So yeah, man, I think that's kind of BS for the Suns. The move that I wanted them to make. I wanted them. Remember when KD was about to get traded? I wanted them to trade KD for D Fox in the pick. Go get go get Fox to be your 1. Even if you ain't get a big yet, go get a 1 for your 2 guard who's one of the best 2s in the league. Go get a 1. I just want to see him go get a 1 so bad, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is. And bro, thank you. And two, bro, they also drafted another big, and they had Nick Richards already on the roster. They have 4 big men that can play. For what? You know what I'm saying? Like before we signed Ayton, I'm like, bro, the Lakers needed a center. Trade us one. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, stop being stingy over there. Yeah. Facts, bro. So yeah, yeah, man. Suns right now, I'm questioning their direction. Honestly, bro, I'm lost. So Suns fans, if you could help me gauge that and help me see exactly what it is that the Suns are trying to do, please help me, understand that and enlighten me. But next we have another team that I'm a little confused about because they traded their lottery pick in this year's draft, but they also say they're not trying to compete this year. The Pelicans. Zion lost the weight. I'm kind of iffy on that because how effective is he going to be if he's not as big as he was? Because that kind of was his game, being the bowling ball, bumping off of people, bumping into people, getting layups, getting N1. So that kind of confused me. That kind of throws me off with how he's going to adjust with the weight loss. But when I look at the Suns team, when I look at the Pelicans team, I kind of feel like they're going to have too much talent to be a team that does not finish in the top 6. They have Jordan Poole, DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, Derek Queen, Jeremy Fears, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. Bro, that right there, huh? Yeah, I said Jordan Poole. That right there sounds like playoffs. But 9 out of 10, they're not gonna make the playoffs like that. So for me, I just kind of feel like, man, for the Pelicans, move off some of those pieces, man, and go get you some depth. Go get you some, go get you an overall unit or overall team other than just names on paper. But right now, they don't have a bad team. I would like to see them. Trey Murphy got paid. Herb Jones got an extension. Zion getting paid. Um, he's on an active contract that's getting paid. This contract year. Well, he's gonna get paid. He's probably gonna pay the most games he's played in 3, 4, 5 years or 3 years. He's trying to get paid. He's probably gonna play 65 games this year and be eligible to make all NBA, all that, so he can get all that money possible. So yeah, I think Zion, yeah, for sure. Pelicans, man, I just would like to see the Pelicans, have a little bit more defining roles on the team. I would like to see what position certain guys are gonna play. Other than that, they have a lot of talent. Would like to see them in that play in, or even if they could get to the playoff, but I just don't see it happening right now. Another team that I'm very, very confused on, they just baffle me because I keep seeing that they want to get rid of Malik Monk to make space to bring in Russell Westbrook. That kills me because you already have Dennis Schroeder. So what are you getting another point guard for? Which if you're getting Russ to be the backup, cool. But why are you moving a 2 guard to bring in a 1? That is what I don't understand. I would see if you're getting rid of Devin Carter, who is the guy who was a first round pick 2 years ago. I can see if you're getting rid of that other, on the ball or point guard to bring in Russ. But if you're getting rid of a 2 to bring in another 1 to have 3 1s, I don't understand what's going on there. So Sacramento Kings, I thought it was a point where Sabonis wanted out of there. I thought it was a point where DeMar wanted out of there, and Zach LaVine. They have entirely too much talent to not be a top 6 team in the West. That makes no sense. Keegan Murray, bro, DeMontis Sabonis, Keegan Murray, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Keon Ellis is not forget about, bro. Um, Trey Lyles, like what are the keys are cursed, bro? I don't even know. A lot of teams they just have to be cursed because that makes no sense to have that much talent and you just almost can't do. You barely can make the play in with that talent. I'm like, bro, nobody cares about. Yeah, like nobody cares about the Kings, bro. Nobody. When people get on their shows or their podcasts, an example, this right here, nobody's saying, yeah, bro, let's talk about the Kings. It's kind of boring me to death to talk about them, bro. Like honestly, but yeah, man, Kings, find a just get a new owner if you possibly get a new owner, GM, everything. Yeah, man, I don't know what they haven't been the same since 2020, 2002 when the Lakers did them, how they did them in that conference finals, bro. So get well soon to the Kings, man. Last but not least, you never want to see a player get hurt. Never want to see a player be out for the rest of the season. Fred VanVleet, man, I really hope that he gets well soon. I hope that he can bounce back and recover very fast because this is the best team that he would have ever been a part of. And I wanted to see how he would have looked being the point guard for KD. I think this is the most, the best pure scorer that Fred VanVleet has ever played with. Yeah, he played with Kawhi, but he's not a better, more pure of a scorer than what KD is. So I would have loved to see Fred VanVleet out there playing and helping the Rockets get wins. But what I can say is, man, addition by subtraction. And Fred VanVleet isn't going off the team. He isn't getting traded, but he is hurt, so he won't be available. But I think this is where Amen Thompson is going to step up and show he is the point guard of this team. And I also think this is where Reed Shepard is going to step up and show this is why you drafted me in the first round and as a top 5 pick because I'm gonna show you I'm cold. I got that. I think Reed showed last year in the minutes that he did get that he was a good player. He could score the ball, could be a lead guard. But I think this year, playing with KD, having not a lot of pressure to score at all, I think Reed Shepherd will really take a step back and understand, bro, I could be the point guard. I could be a good point guard. Or a man is just gonna grow and just be a great athletic freak as a point guard. Mhm. A great job. Think about it. In the playoffs, Van Fleet was off the ball a lot because he was their best scorer for the most part. So they had him off the ball, coming off screens and stuff. He can score. Yep, he can score. He can not, and they have to unleash him now. We ain't got no vet in front of you. You gotta. Yep. It's yeah. Thank you. Not well with KD, he ain't getting 15 no more. So I'll probably 10 max. 10 max. That's sad. You right about that. You're right. Them efficiency numbers is not gonna show that. You right. That's facts. That is facts though, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, shout out to the Rockets, man. This is what you got a young team for. This is what you bought KD in for. You're versatile. You got 3-and-D wings. You got young guys who can score. You got guys who can fill in to be the point guard. So hey, yeah, man. They don't feel. You know what I'm saying? Now they having to defer to a superior threat, Kevin Durant. Hey, shout out to the Rockets, man. Good episode today of Ball Hog Sports, man. I enjoy talking to y'all every time, man. Like, follow, subscribe, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that, man. Get with us, get in, man. Shout out everybody. Shout out y'all.